Hey guys, quick little vlog here. While I'm just sitting here, I thought I'd tell you about some interesting things going on. Um, so the first one is the smaller story, I guess, ish, and then I'll tell you about the other thing. So today I went to go get, or my dad went to go get some new glucose strips for my meter because I was almost out, and I kept getting issues getting them. They were like, they're here, they're not here, we're shipping them, they're not shipping them. So I was just like, I had like 5 left. So I told him to go to the store to get some. And this is a meter I've been using for about 3 years. I use the Freestyle Light intermittently between that, so I say about 3 years. But the Freestyle Light, the test strips are just way too expensive. So I was using a meter that wasn't as good, but it worked, and anyway, I was using that. Only to find out that the issues I'm having with it was because they were actually phasing the test strips out of existence. So then I was like, well, what am I supposed to do? Because I don't have enough money to pay for the Freestyle. I'm not shelling out $160 every month, for 100 strips. And so I ended up with, this is not sponsored, by the way. Let me put that out there right now. I ended up with the Contour Next One meter, which I can't get over how small it is. Like, you don't know about how big my head is, but look at it compared to like my glasses. Like, it is teeny tiny. And I didn't trust it at first because when you've used something for 3 years, even if it's actually inferior, you trust that more. But this is actually apparently like one of the best meters on the market. So it ended up being a blessing in disguise that they're phasing out my other meter. But I also wasn't planning on paying the money for a new meter or test strips. These are a little more expensive because the other one I was paying $20 for 100 strips, and this one is $35 for 70 strips. But it should make do. Yeah, at least I have it. Now, thankfully, the Dexcom I have on right now is working like perfect. So I don't have to use that many strips right now, but I do have those occasions where I have Dexcoms that are just completely inaccurate, or just not it, and that's when I have to use more strips. But we'll see. One thing I did like, I hope YouTube won't be mad about me showing needles. They're capped. I don't know. One thing I did like is how colorful the lances that came with this meter are. They're like rainbow colors, and they're pretty, and I saw that and I was like, ooh, rainbow. So if you have to stab yourself with something, at least it can be pretty. And the other thing, life update I wanted to talk about, because I just wrote like 1,000 words in it, is I don't know if I ever talked about this on YouTube. I really think I did, but it was so long ago I don't remember. So if you guys have been around for a while, you know that I had a friend named Brooke. She had her own YouTube channel. I believe it still exists out there. It was Chronic Beauty 65 if you want to go look at it. I do occasionally, just for the memories. But she had cystic fibrosis like me. We met over Orkambi, but we became best friends really quickly. And our friendship, unfortunately, only lasted 3 years because she passed away in June of 2018. Not even quite 3 years, because I met her in October of 2015, and she passed in June of 2018 from CF. But makes me sad even just saying that. But anyway, so it was after that period of time. She was like my best friend. We both loved horses. We both loved writing. I did NaNoWriMo with her. That's what that is, because if you guys don't know, I wrote a book called Saving Falcon. I just never published it. It's still sitting on my computer somewhere. And we were just like, we were like the kind of friends that are so close. We were like sisters. And when she passed, it broke me. But later on in that year, in November, I had also met her family that fall. Like, I'd never met her family because CFers, if you don't know, they can't be together because we can share our germs. Like, we don't share our germs with normal people. I don't know. Am I an alien? I don't know. But we can pass stuff between like each other. So CFers have this cruel twist of we can't be physically together without making each other sicker. So I'd never met her family because of, obviously because of that. And her family flew down, I believe it was September. I believe, don't quote me on that. I believe it was September of 2018, her family came down to Florida and met up here. And we had talked about this, that I had decided that I wanted to write a book for Brooke. And it was going to be called Breathing Roses, The Human Side of CF. So I wanted to display to the world, not this like very long full-length novel, but just probably more of a novella, 15,000 to 30,000 words or whatever, of this book that was about me and Brooke's friendship, showing to the world the struggles that people go through with CF, but also how we're just normal people and just living life. And it was to raise awareness for CF. It was like, I even said that if this book someday were to ever become published, I don't even want to make any money off of it. I either want it to be listed for free, or I want all the proceeds to go to the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation. Like, this has nothing to do with money. It has to do with wanting to get her story out there and my story out there. And, which I kind of do on these vlogs, but, so anyway, in November of 2018, I started working on that, and I had a different script at that point. I have it on my computer, I believe, still. And I got about 3,000 words in, and it just became painful. I didn't like how it was turning out, and it was just too soon after she had passed, because this was only like, 5 months after I lost her. So I said, I'm going to leave it, and I'll come back to it soon. And now that soon and unintentionally ended up being like 5 years of leaving it sitting on the shelf. And at this point I was like, I don't even want to go back to that first manuscript. I'm just trashing that, and I'm going to start over. And so yesterday I decided, I'm ready to talk about this now. It's been 5 years too long. I didn't intend for it to sit on the shelf for 5 years, but life happens. And I was like, I'm ready to do this again. And I know my heart's going to break when I get to those parts of losing her, but it's not easy even just going down memory lane of like any of it, honestly. And sometimes I feel like, well, what do I write about? What content do I have to fill everything? But I decided I'm going to go for it again. So maybe someday you'll see a book published out there called Breathing Roses. But yeah, something clicked in me where it's like, if I'm not going to write this book, nobody is. Nobody's going to write about my life. Nobody's going to write about Brooke's life. So if I want to get this story out there, I need to do it. So I started that again yesterday, woke up this morning, erased 2 chapters that I wrote because I hated them, and then started over again, but I have about 1,000 words into it. I'm trying not to erase any more chapters until I get to the end of the book, and then I can do all the editing. I'm very, like, when I wrote Saving Falcon, which is just like a preteen story about a typical, like, teenage girl meets a rescue horse, they fix each other type, cliche. When I wrote that, I wasn't super critical about it because it was this fictional story, and I created the characters, I created the world, and if I didn't like the world, I could change the world. But this is different because it's real life. It's my life, it's Brooke's life, it's the life after Brooke passed. It's not fiction. I feel like I am held to this really high standard of wanting to do her justice, and I think that's part of why it sat on the shelf for 5 years. But I'm trying to not erase any more chapters and just write, and then I can erase chapters or fix chapters or whatever afterwards, because the first draft is just, it's not going to be the one that's published to the world. This is actually technically like the second draft at this point, but you get my gist. So yeah, those are the 2 main life updates: new meter and trying to become an author, I guess. So hope you guys are doing well out there, and we'll see where this goes.